I was just starting some seeds and I thought to myself, not everyone may know how to properly pack the cells, what to put on top, how to water, and all that fun stuff when it comes to using a seed cell setup. So I actually want to show you here today exactly what I do and some things you may want to consider when seed starting using a plastic cell. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. If you want to grab 1 month free subscription of Skillshare, then go check out the link in my pinned description. Now, Skillshare is an online learning platform that lets you take courses from professionals such as myself on things like indoor growing or how to get a secondary income, you name it. This year, I want to explore creating better videos that hold better attention, and Skillshare allows me to do this through a number of different courses that show me how to film and even edit my videos. As I'm leveling up in my editing software, I'm realizing that no goal is too small. I'm able to grow with Skillshare as I need to, and it allows me to up my skill set over time. It has beginner videos all the way to expert. So go check out Skillshare and, like I said, grab that 1 month free. And if you're particularly looking to lower that grocery bill, then I suggest you go check out all the courses on gardening or seed starting because there are a ton. So let's get into the video. So here's an example of some seed cells that I have. Now, when I pack these in, I actually want to pack them enough that when I push, it doesn't sink down. Typically speaking, when you top the cells and you go to push down, your fingers can sink about halfway. What you want to do is actually top the cell, push down, and then refill as needed. The reason for this is because if there are air pockets in our cells, we tend to see air pruning. Now, air pruning is a good thing in adult plants and it can actually increase our root biomass. But when we're dealing with a lower volume of roots in a seedling setting, this is less than ideal and we want to try to avoid it as much as possible. This is why with seed starting mixes, we notice that the perlite is very small or non-existent. This is because the companies don't want to introduce air into these seed starting setups. So with that being said, the pushing down or the compacting of the peach or the coconut coir will ensure that the air is not going to linger in those spaces and give you proper root development. I think you'd be shocked by how strong plant roots are, so do keep that into consideration. Once everything's packed in, I do like to give my soil a water. This will further compact it as well as soak it all the way through. Now, classically speaking, I will water the tops and then I will actually then continue to allow that tray to sit in water for a period of time. This is called bottom watering and it ensures that the entire cell is fully saturated top to bottom. Again, this is another key when ensuring proper root growth is the complete saturation of that soil system, not allowing for any dead spots within the soil. If you've ever had coconut coir or peat or compost that's fully dried out, you will have noticed that they tend to be hydrophobic. This hydrophobicity can transfer into the potting soil itself in the seed starting setups and ultimately harm the seedling germination. So compaction and water. After you're compacted in water, you can then sow your seeds. Classically speaking, I will just use my pinky finger or a dibber if needed to help ensure the proper depths. You always want to sow to the depth that these stated on the seed packet because this is ultimately the best choice. Now, with that being said, if you have photosensitive seeds such as lettuce, for example, I actually just broadcast those on the surface and then I top with some vermiculite. In the settings where I have to sow to a deeper depth, for example, some exotic peas that are beans that have to be started indoors early, typically need about 3 inches in depth at times. These seeds I will also top with vermiculite. Vermiculite is the actual hack for reducing mold or fungus growth on the top of soil surfaces and ultimately reducing the chances of dampening off. I will say that cinnamon is a old wives' tale. It doesn't work only because cinnamon you typically purchase at the store is either a fake cinnamon and or too old to have the properties that we know cinnamon to have for antibacterial and antifungal. Your best method for ensuring that this doesn't happen is a sterile seed starting mix, sterilized seed, and sterilized equipment. And I have a video on all 3 of these concepts and how to go about doing so. But what I can say is that vermiculite is definitely going to help with this. Next up would be using a heat mat when needed. Now for hot peppers and flowers, this is maybe the case, and you typically would only leave them on the heat mat for approximately 4 days or until the plant germinates. I have a whole video on this, so I encourage you to go check that out. For seedlings that don't need the heat mat, you just proceed as normal. Now, one of my final finishing touches that I personally like is the humidity dome. The humidity dome helps ensure a continuous moisture, and this continuous moisture supply ambiently helps ensure that that vermiculite stays moist, the seed stays moist, and I get even accurate germination. If we allow the soil surface or the seed to dry out, we can actually damage the seed and completely destroy the endosperm, which ultimately will destroy germination of that seed entirely. So to make sure you get the maximized results, use a humidity dome. This doesn't have to be fancy. It could be a purchase one, or it could be something as simple as saran wrap, if I'm being totally honest. After this, you do want to consider bumping up when the time is right, but if you want to learn more about that, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and join us on the journey of seed starting. I hope you guys have fun with this. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.